Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are looking at a topic that I feel like has reached a total saturation point.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot scroll through Instagram or TikTok right now without seeing a carousel about 5 signs he's avoidant or why you're
Or
anxious.
how to detach.
Right. We're talking about attachment theory.
It is everywhere. It's become the vernacular of modern dating.
It really has. And honestly, a lot of the material out there feels a bit, I don't know, horoscopic.
Mm,
Like, oh, you're a Gemini, so you're a void. It feels deterministic, like a label you just get slapped with.
exactly.
But looking at the stack of research we have today, if you're looking at this as just dating advice or like a personality quiz, you are missing the actual headline.
Completely. The sources we are diving into today aren't interested in helping you hack your dating life,
Right.
though that might be a side effect. They are looking at the fundamental biology of the human animal. This isn't about personality types. It's about neurobiology.
It's about how we are physically wired.
Yeah, how we're wired to regulate fear and safety.
And that is the shift I want to focus on. We are moving away from, here is my list of red flags, to how is my nervous system built?
Yes.
The mission for this deep dive is to take the blame out of the equation and just look at the biological context.
Because when you read the clinical data, it stops looking like a character flaw.
And it starts looking like software.
That's the perfect analogy. It is the operating system for how you relate to other human beings, and specifically how you handle your own physiological stress.
Okay, so let's strip it down then. If we ignore all the pop psychology for a second,
Mm.
what is the actual clinical definition of attachment in these texts?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think most people just think it means, how clingy are you?
Right, and it's so much deeper than that. At its absolute core, attachment is a biological regulation system.
A regulation system.
It's the mechanism that governs how you handle closeness, how you react to separation, and crucially, how you manage your own autonomic nervous system, your fight or flight response.
Regulation is the key word there. So it's not just about, do I like cuddles?
No.
It's about, can I calm down when the world feels scary?
To understand this, you really have to go back to the origin story of the human infant.
Okay.
Humans are born uniquely premature compared to other mammals. A baby horse can stand up and run within hours of being born.
Yeah.
A human baby. If you leave it alone, it doesn't just get lonely, it dies.
We are born helpless, totally dependent.
We are born biologically unable to self-regulate, and this is the crucial piece.
Okay.
If an infant is cold or scared or stressed, their sympathetic nervous system, the stress response, it spikes. Cortisol floods the system.
But they can't bring it down on their own.
They have no internal mechanism to bring it back down. They cannot soothe themselves.
So they're just stuck in the red zone, like a raw nerve ending.
Until the caregiver steps in. The caregiver picks them up, warms them, makes soothing noises, feeds them. The caregiver acts as an external nervous system.
An external nervous system.
The baby borrows the parent's calm to regulate their own physiology.
I love that image. The parent is the external battery pack.
Or the external regulator, that's exactly it. And here's where the attachment style forms.
Right.
It's not a personality trait, it's a statistical prediction. Over thousands of interactions, I cry, you come, I'm hungry, you feed, the baby's brain starts to build a model of the world.
And it's asking questions.
It's asking, is closeness safe? If I signal distress, will help come?
And the answer to that question isn't just a memory. It physically wires the brain.
It lends down neural pathways. It creates a baseline expectation for how relationships work and really how survival works.
Okay, so let's look at the gold standard first. Secure attachment.
Right.
I think there's a misconception that secure means you had perfect parents who never let you cry and anticipated every need.
Which is impossible and actually not even desirable. The research is very clear on this. Good enough is the bar.
Good enough.
Secure attachment happens when the caregiver is generally consistent and responsive. The child learns that when they signal a need, the response is usually helpful.
So what does that teach the nervous system? If the care is consistent, what is the brain learning?
It teaches the system two critical things. One, I can explore the world and come back to safety. I have a secure base.
Okay.
And two, and this is huge, repair is possible.
Repair. That stands out to me. So it's not that things don't break.
No.
It's that the child learns they can be fixed.
Correct. A securely attached child, and later a securely attached adult, knows that conflict isn't the end of the relationship. They don't go into a survival panic when there is a disagreement.
They can stay in the room.
Literally and metaphorically, yeah.
That sounds like a superpower in the modern world. They can be close without losing themselves, and they can be apart without panicking.
Because their internal prediction is, we will work this out. They have a stable baseline. Their alarm system isn't constantly going off.
Okay, but nature isn't always perfect,
Right.
and life is messy. So this brings us to the insecure styles.
Right.
And I want to be really careful here because the sources emphasize we need to stop calling these maladaptive or toxic.
Yes. This is maybe the most important reframe in the literature. These styles are not brokenness. They are highly intelligent survival adaptations to the environment you are in.
Your brain was trying to keep you alive.
Exactly.
Let's start with anxious attachment. I feel like this is the one people self-identify with the most,
It is.
or at least the one that feels the most painful in the moment, that feeling of, oh, I'm so needy. But biologically, what is actually happening there?
Okay, so imagine an environment where the care is inconsistent. This is key.
Inconsistent.
Sometimes the parent is warm and present, other times they are distracted or cold or absent. The baby never knows which version they are going to get,
It's like a slot machine. It's intermittent reinforcement.
which, as we know from gambling studies, is the most addictive kind of reinforcement.
Right.
The baby's nervous system learns that the connection is fragile. If they take their eye off the ball, the parent might disappear or tune out. So the adaptive strategy is hyperactivation.
Hyperactivation. So it's turning up the volume.
Exactly. It means turning up the sensitivity of the distress signal. If I cry louder, if I cling tighter, if I monitor your face for every microexpression, I can keep you close.
So the neediness is actually a survival strategy.
To prevent abandonment. Yes.
So when we see an adult sending 3 texts in a row or spiraling because their partner used a period instead of an exclamation point.
That is the infant brain hitting the panic button. It's not that they are crazy or obsessive.
Right.
It's that their nervous system is screaming, "We are losing the connection. Do something." It is a state of physiological high alert
Their cortisol is spiking.
because the prediction is, I am about to be left alone.
That makes it feel much less like a character flaw and more like a smoke detector that is set to go off if someone burns toast.
Yes,
Because it thinks the house is burning down.
a smoke detector that kept you alive when you were small because you had to be loud to get fed.
Okay, let's look at the other side of the coin. Avoidant attachment. In the dating world, these people get a bad rap. They're the cold ones, the ghosters, the ones who won't commit.
They do get demonized. But again, look at the origin. Avoidant attachment usually forms as a response to a caregiver who is emotionally unavailable.
Or even rejecting.
Or even rejecting. So if the baby cries, the parent pushes them away or tells them to stop.
Or just ignores them. Signals that the crying is a nuisance.
Right. Now, for a biologically helpless infant, this is terrifying. Rejection is dangerous. So the brain makes a calculation.
Signaling my needs leads to rejection. Rejection is pain.
Therefore, I will stop signaling needs.
So they shut down the signal. It's a strategy of deactivation.
Precisely. They learn to self-soothe. They shut down the attachment drive because it's safer to rely on themselves. But here is the fascinating thing from the physiological studies in our stack.
Okay.
If you hook a person with avoidant attachment up to a heart monitor and ask them about their feelings, they might say, I'm fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
But the monitor tells a different story.
The monitor shows their heart rate is elevated, their skin conductance sweat is up, their cortisol is through the roof.
Wait, really? So they aren't actually unbothered?
No, that is the myth. Their body is just as stressed as the anxious person. They have just learned to sever the connection between the feeling and the expression.
So they're suppressing it.
They are doing the heavy lifting of suppressing that need.
That sounds exhausting.
The sources call it a high metabolic cost. It takes a huge amount of energy to keep that wall up.
So the avoidant person isn't heartless.
Not at all. They are protecting themselves from the disappointment of relying on someone who they predict won't be there.
Self-reliance is safer than connection. That is the script.
Exactly.
Now, there is a fourth style that the Instagram charts often leave out, probably because it's the hardest to simplify.
Disorganized attachment.
Yeah.
This is the most complex biological landscape. This happens when the caregiver is the source of food and comfort, but also a source of fear.
So the parent is both safe harbor and the storm.
Yes. Maybe the parent is abusive, or frighteningly chaotic, or even just terrified themselves due to their own unresolved trauma.
So the baby is caught in a biological paradox.
It's a short circuit. When a mammal is scared, the hardwired instruction is run to the parent.
Right.
But if the parent is the scary thing, the instruction is Run away from the parent.
Go to them and flee from them, firing at the same time.
It creates a collapse. The nervous system can't organize a strategy. It can't cling. That's dangerous. It can't shut down. That's also dangerous.
And it's just chaos.
It creates a state of unresolved threat. In adults, this often looks like chaos, pulling someone close and then lashing out when they get too close.
A desperate need for connection coupled with a terror of it.
It sounds incredibly painful to live with.
It is draining. It's living in a state of perpetual unseen danger.
But again, to tie this back to our mission, these were all brilliant solutions at the time.
Absolutely. The brain is an optimization machine. It optimized for your specific home environment.
If you were anxious, you kept the parent's attention. If you were avoidant, you avoided the pain of rejection. You survived. The system worked.
The problem is, we aren't living in our parents' living room anymore.
No.
We are 30 or 40 years old, trying to date or be married, and we are using a map for a city we left decades ago.
That's the tragedy of it. The survival strategy that saved you in childhood becomes the thing that sabotages you in adulthood.
You treat your partner like they are your parent.
Not because you want to, but because your nervous system is running the old simulation.
Which brings us to the famous anxious avoidant trap. Why do these two styles always seem to find each other?
It's almost chemical.
You'd think they would repel, but the data shows they are magnetic.
Because they're perfectly designed to trigger each other, the anxious person craves closeness to feel safe.
And the avoidant person craves distance to feel safe.
So the anxious person steps forward to get reassurance.
And the avoidant person's alarm system goes off. Engulfment. Threat. So they pull back to regulate themselves.
Which triggers the anxious person's alarm. Abandonment. Threat. So they chase harder.
And it confirms everyone's worst fears.
Exactly. The anxious person proves to themselves that people always leave. The avoidant person proves that people are always suffocating.
And ironically, this familiarity, this high-stakes chaos, can feel like chemistry.
That's a scary thought. That we mistake anxiety for butterflies.
It happens all the time. Secure love can feel boring.
Boring.
To a nervous system used to the roller coaster, safety feels flat. There's no adrenaline spike.
There's no chase.
A lot of people with insecure attachment meet a secure partner. Someone who calls when they say they will, who is consistent, and they think, meh, no spark.
When really it's just the absence of danger. They aren't getting the dopamine hit of the chase.
They are waiting for the shoe to drop.
And when it doesn't, they feel uneasy.
So if we are stuck in these loops, if our biology is running this old software, are we doomed? Is this just who we are forever?
No.
Because up to this point, the science sounds pretty deterministic.
Absolutely not. And this is the good news section of the deep dive.
I like a good news section.
The brain is plastic. Neuroplasticity means we can form new pathways until the day we die.
The sources call this earned security, which sounds like a merit badge I want to get.
It's the best one you can get. Earned security is when someone with an insecure history, anxious, avoidant, or disorganized, builds a secure nervous system in adulthood.
How? If the wiring is physical, how do we change it?
You need what psychologists call a corrective emotional experience.
Okay, break that down. What does that look like in practice?
You need to be in a situation where your body expects the old bad thing to happen, but a new good thing happens instead.
You need to surprise the amygdala.
You have to. So give me a concrete example.
Okay, say you're anxious.
Yeah.
You send a text. Your partner doesn't reply for 3 hours. Your body goes into panic mode.
Right. The old pathway says, they are leaving. You're ready to send the angry follow-up or show up at their house.
But instead, you pause. Use a self-regulation tool. Maybe deep breathing, maybe calling a friend.
So you interrupt the reaction.
You interrupt the reaction, and then when they finally reply, sorry, stuck in a meeting, love you, your brain registers a new data point.
I wasn't abandoned. I was safe.
And if you do that 10 times, nothing changes. But if you do it 1,000 times,
The neural pathway changes.
you have to manually override the autopilot enough times that the manual mode becomes the new autopilot.
Yes. And doing this with a secure partner helps immensely. If you freak out and they don't run away, if they stay steady, they act as that external nervous system again.
They help you co-regulate.
Until you can do it yourself.
The sources also mention internal reparenting, which sounds a bit woo-woo, but functionally, what is it?
It's simply treating yourself the way a secure parent would have.
Okay.
If you're spiraling, instead of beating yourself up, why am I so crazy? Why am I so needy? You talk to your nervous system. You say, I know you're scared. I'm here. We are safe.
You become the reliable caregiver to yourself.
That is the definition of success here. It's not that you never feel anxious or avoidant again. It's that when the feeling comes up, you don't have to obey it.
You can notice it.
You can notice it, soothe it, and choose a different behavior.
We move from reaction to response.
Exactly. We stop reacting to the past and start responding to the present. You are building a buffer zone between the trigger and the action.
This has been such a shift in perspective for me.
Mm.
We started with biology, the helpless infant needing a regulator. We saw how the brain cleverly wires itself to survive inconsistent or scary environments via hyperactivation or deactivation.
And we saw how those wires can cross in adulthood, creating that magnetic friction between anxious and avoidant styles, the anxious avoidant trap.
But the destination is earned security, the realization that because these patterns were learned.
They can be unlearned.
Yeah.
It's hard work. It takes repetition. It takes relationships that are safe, but the plasticity is there.
You are not your attachment style.
Your attachment style is just a set of predictions, and predictions can be updated with new data.
I want to leave the listener with this thought, something that really stuck out to me in the reading. Humans are wounded in relationship, and we heal in relationship. We can't do this purely in isolation. We need each other to rewire.
That is the fundamental truth of our species. We are wired for connection.
Thank you for diving deep with us. It's heavy stuff, but hopefully it gives you a new map for the territory.
It was a pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.